Good evening. Did Darren White throw his weight around at the scene of his wife's car crash? Did she get special treatment because of her husband's actions? The city's independent review officer, a former federal judge, says no.
The IRO did say Kathleen White should have been tested for DWI under the circumstances, but he ruled it wasn't her husband's fault that she wasn't. News 13's Katie Kim is live in the Newsplex with more.
Dick and Diane, the IRO says Darren White violated city policy by leaving the crash scene with his lights on and by taking his wife in a city SUV. But according to the IRO, that's all White did wrong.
I have been dealing with baseless allegations and innuendos.
And tonight, former public safety director Darren White says those allegations cost him his job. White stepped down after the controversy surrounding his wife's minor car crash earlier this month spiraled out of control.
The truth will show that I behaved as any concerned husband.
The much anticipated report by the city's independent review officer supports that statement. The IRO says White did not interfere with the officer's investigation at the scene of his wife's wreck. Kathleen was not drug tested after she crashed into a curb in the Northeast Heights, even though she told officers that she was taking prescription pills. Officers and paramedics believed she was under the influence of drugs or medication. According to the report, when Darren White arrived, he wanted to take his wife to the hospital. Paramedics say that led to an exchange between White and Officer Walk, who investigated the crash. Walk told White, quote, "What makes you think I'm not going to charge her?" White responded, saying, "Well, I guess it's your scene." And when White told Walk he was taking his wife to the hospital, Walk said, "Do I need to call a drug recognition expert?" The paramedic heard White say, "You do what you need to do." Paramedics and officers told the IRO they were intimidated by White's presence, but felt Kathleen needed to get medical attention. But the IRO found Walk's statements were not indicative of a person who was intimidated. And according to city policy, the IRO says Walk should have conducted a field sobriety test. If Kathleen was unable to perform those tests, the IRO says she should have been taken into custody and blood tested at the hospital. That never happened. But we'll never know if she was driving under the influence because Judge William Deaton, the IRO, says any proof or allegation of DWI left when Kathleen left the scene. Darren White has repeatedly said his wife had a seizure. Tonight, he reinforced that, saying, quote, "Medical records prove she tested negative for illegal drugs and alcohol." But our investigation found Kathleen wasn't tested for Lamictal, the anti-anxiety drug she admitted to taking, a drug that carries a strong recommendation against driving. City councilors say there are still a lot of unanswered questions.
I don't think this is a complete report.
Councilors will vote Monday on whether to ask the city's new inspector general to conduct a separate investigation, saying the IRO is too closely affiliated with the mayor's office. Councilor O'Malley also questions whether White did interfere with the investigation.
If my boss were looking at what I was doing, would that affect my behavior as to my job? Well, of course.
The city says the total investigation was not released because of the city's deal with the police union. A city spokesman also says the disciplinary process is not complete. The IRO report also says Officer Walk violated city policy by not turning in his report the day of the crash. Walk and his attorney had no comment tonight. Back to you.
Okay, Katie, the report also clears Deputy Chief Beth Pais of any wrongdoing. Officer Walk had claimed that she asked him to remove the names of drugs that Kathleen White was taking from his police report. The IRO says that is absolutely untrue, citing 3 witnesses.